Yeah.
I have to share some very bad news with you.
Oh no.
The Pope has passed.
Oh. I did hear that. I did see that. How'd you feel about it?
Can I tell you how I found out about it?
Please.
Okay, I found out about it because I went on Instagram and I was like, doing my morning scroll
Just like
and
the original Pope.
just yeah. Yeah, exactly. Me and what's his name? Frederick,
Who?
the Pope.
Francis. Oh my God, dude. The best Pope of our life.
Okay. I know he was actually really great. No, I have to tell you because it was so messy. It's the only way that I can describe it is that this was a messy way to find out. Okay. It was I saw a meme from some Instagram page called Courier. Oh, it was Now This Impact posted it, which is like a popular news page or whatever on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And Raheel, it's a picture of, Pope Francis looking not great. His eyes
Yeah.
are looking not good.
Mm-hmm.
But who's shaking his hand?
Is
JD
it?
Vance.
Yeah, exactly.
And the headline says, Pope Francis dead one day after meeting with JD Vance. And I thought it was an Onion article.
The Pope said, "Fuck this shit."
Remember when this Pope got caught saying the F word slur in Italian?
Oh yeah, that's true.
He's one of the girls.
He is.
I can't
Yeah.
say that actually. Neither
No,
you nor
seriously.
I are gay enough to make a joke about it. But it seemed like the gays didn't mind it. They were like, we'll allow it.
Also, we're not Catholic, so maybe we should be careful about calling the highest person in that religion one of the girls. That's all I'm gonna say.
When I say, listen, that's a high compliment. If you're a person who's Catholic and you're listening to this podcast and you hear me say the Pope was one of the girls and you're like, that's offensive, that's crazy. What are you doing listening to this podcast?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you are. That is the highest of compliments that you would give.
Yes.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
By
Sorry,
the
go
way,
ahead.
I also saw a meme that said, wait, so, listen, a man is dead, which is sad. But the way that JD Vance is connected to it is really, really funny to me because somebody tweeted JD stands for just killed the Pope of Vance.
Da. It's terrible.
No, it's
Uh,
terrible.
It is terrible. This was like I actually think in terms of like religious leaders, right? And I don't know, like overall religious leaders. Obviously, the Catholic Church still lots of problems,
A lot of problems,
lots
guys. A
and
lot of
lots of problems,
problems.
right?
Okay.
The LGBTQ stuff not okay.
Not
All of the
good.
cover ups obviously not okay, right?
Yeah.
But given even but within that spectrum, the fact that this guy was as progressive as he was is
Yeah.
amazing. He was like a genuinely good guy. So I'm actually really, really sad that he's
He used
gone.
to FaceTime with the churches of Palestine, like the I guess the
Yeah.
parishes in Palestine. He used to FaceTime with them every day. And one of the last things he did right before he died was he gave this like Easter sermon where he was like throwing shade at the evangelicals, basically.
Exactly. Listen, man, if you like right off the bat, people like Sarah Palin were like, "Oh, this pope is too progressive," which is amazing, right? Which is like that's how you know that you're on the wrong side of everything.
Yeah.
When like the religious leader that you follow is telling you that his views are too
Yeah.
aggressive for you. That's how you know that you've messed
Yeah.
up, right? So So overall, yes, of course. Catholic Church, lots of problems. Organized religion overall, lots and lots of problems. But he was a good guy. I especially liked the guy that he like the fact that he replaced the last guy. Do you remember the last guy?
The last guy looked like he came straight out of the Eye of Sauron.
Oh, I was gonna say he looked like what was the name of the emperor in Star Wars?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, the emperor.
Who is the emperor? Friend of the
like how you said-
podcast, Christina Ariel is probably screaming right now.
I like how you said "damn it" when we're talking about the Pope. What's his name? Darth.
I didn't say God damn it.
Senator Palpatine.
Palpatine. That's what he looked looked like Palpatine.
Because he had like dark eye circles, like darker than mine. You'd be like, oh.
They were scary looking. I
And
feel like when I think about him, I think his eyes were rimmed with red, which they probably were not, but in my mind
no,
they were.
they weren't. But you know what was rimmed with red? You know what, the other thing he was famous for?
His
He
Christian
loved,
Louboutin shoes.
yes, ruby red.
I thought that all of the popes wore Christian Louboutins.
I don't think so. I don't think Francis
Just that
wore
one pope.
Louboutins. Yeah, I think so. I think that was his
I
big thing.
think Francis was. You think Francis was the Palis girl?
I think he was a Palis guy because
You keep calling him a guy, and I'm telling you, he does not
He's
want to
the
be called a
Pope.
guy. Okay, he does not want to be called a guy. I get it. Pope, Padre, Father. I get it.
Yeah, I do feel like he would be more of a Palis guy. He used to go around and wash like
He
people's feet.
literally washed the feet of the people.
Yeah, of the people.
Okay. No, it was Benedict. Benedict was the one that he had a personal cobbler.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So even that one, right? I watched the movie about Benny and Frank. I think that was the name of the movie.
Benedict?
Benedict and Frank. Because, you know, the big thing about Benedict was he was like the first pope in like 700 years.
Did he die or did he retire?
He resigned, which is the big thing. And he was the first one in like 800 years to do it voluntarily. Like they had another pope in like the 1400s that they pushed out.
Do you think that was because people kept comparing him to Palpatine and he was like, you know what? I don't like the bullying.
I did not sign up for this. He was German, by the way, but all popes sound like this.
Is that allowed? No, that's of course it is. The other guy was Polish.
The other guy was Polish. Yeah, JP too.
Yeah, he was the one that when I think Pope, that's who I think of.
That was our original Pope.
Yeah,
I would say when I
think
Pope
of our generation.
Yeah. So I had nice feelings about JP too. Also, with Benny, I was like, ugh, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
but then I love Frank. But then I watched a movie about Benny and Frank, and it is kind of amazing that Benny gave up the papacy. Like that's an amazing thing to do, right? Because he was just like, man, I'm a man out of my time. This is not working out for me. Let me just get my ruby red slippers and get the fuck out of here.
Let me just click them 3 times and get myself back home.
And there is no place like a home.
Again,
so
a German man.
A German man. God rest his soul. I think he passed away 3 years ago.
He did? Benedict too? Would you ever want to be the Pope?
I don't think so. Gut reaction, no. I would not like to be the Pope. Would you like to be the Pope?
Well, you know I love to wield power.
You do.
But
now I don't.
But
yeah.
But I don't like to be criticized. So
yeah. Well, but you're the Pope. I mean, who's criticizing you?
A lot of people.
No, you just say, "I smite you." Would you have any time?
You think that JD Vance killed him?
I think the Pope met JD Vance and he said, These eyes, I have seen them before. I saw them in Benedict, except JD is wearing mascara." And he said, "Fuck this shit. I'm out."
He said, "This a couch fucker?" It's just so offensive. I hate what we're doing. We're about to get canceled.
We should get canceled.
Okay, white women hate me. No, Italians. Italians gonna hate us. We're practically Italians ourselves. That's so offensive. Again, we're appropriating Italian culture. It's so
but we are Italian Americans.
We are Italian
just by being here. Yeah, this is Italian.
We are. Our culture is New Jersey, and famously, the culture of New Jersey is Italian American.
Exactly.
So you know, bada bing.
Vis-a-vis. Vis-a-vis, is that French or is that Italian?
It's French. I think.
Latin? Is it Latin?
It's Latin. It's Latin, which is close to Italian. We're so dumb. I saw another meme that said "fuck, marry, kill," and it was a picture of a couch, Usha, and the Pope.
It's so mean.
Okay, if you were JD Vance, who I have no sympathy for, by the way, apparently.
Oh no, fuck that guy.
No, fuck that guy. But like, it just feels like an episode of Veep for that guy, because it's like, you know, they're like, yeah, we're gonna send you to Greenland or whatever. They're like, let's send your wife, and then they were like, it's weird that just your wife is going, and he's like, all right, I'll go, and he goes to Greenland for like an hour, and then he finds out once he lands that nobody wants to meet with him, and he just has to come back.
And that's a shitty thing, right? It's like, obviously every decent human being hates him because he's Donald Trump's vice president, but like the MAGA guys don't even like him because he wears eyeliner
And
and
fucks couches.
fucks couches, yeah. And they only do one of those two things on a regular basis. So yeah. But fuck JD Vance.
No, and then he goes and he shakes this guy's hand and he says, "I pray for you." And I was like, "Oh no,
oh no." You think he slipped him some fentanyl? See, now that is offensive because of the hillbilly elegy and the fentanyl problem.
I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with offending JD Vance. I think that's fine with me.
Yes.
Did Trump make a statement yet? Now, here's the thing, by the way. The evangelicals famously, I don't know if you guys know this, but even JFK was not well liked in America because I think, was Joe Biden the only other Catholic president?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they don't, that's the thing. Evangelicals hate the Catholics. And they think that like the Catholics are real bad, which, you know, there's a good amount of criticism against the Catholics, as we said, which is like reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But they think, like Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted something like everything is going to change, like the world is changing, but like in a positive way, like being like, this is a good thing that has happened. Like the evils of the world have gone away.
I don't know, inter-Christianity beef.
Oh, I do.
I would imagine it's something like Sunni Shia beef, which is just like, hey, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're Muslim, but really,
no, it totally is like that. It's like, you know how Sunnis look at Shias, they're like, you do too many things. You do too many things. You praise too many people. We don't praise that many people.
Yeah, just take it easy. We got the two. We got the two.
We got the two. That's it. We got the God. Enough. We got the prophet. That's it.
That's it. That's all we need.
And Shias are like, but what about the rest of the family?
Mm-hmm.
And what if we do like a lot of theme stuff? Like, what if we do a lot of colors and themes? We got a lot of trinkets, a lot of things.
I'm tapping out of this conversation. Just FYI, like, I don't know where.
I'm just saying. By the way, no shade to anybody for how they worship God. Okay.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, there's other stuff, right? That's how people feel about Catholics. Catholics and non-denominational or like American evangelical Christians. They just feel like Catholics there's too many people involved. They're like, why do you need a pope? Why do you need a priest? You don't need all of that. And also, you know, the Catholics famously big on Mary. They love their Mary, you know, Mother Mary. A lot of imagery about Mary. There's a lot of like gold and all that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of extra stuff that I think that evangelicals, like non-denominational Christians, feel very not cool with. Now, the beefs between like the Catholic Church, yes.
I'm just saying, I love the way that you're explaining this, and I want us to start a PragerU type of university.
No, don't say that, because
terribly explain things.
Do you know that I've been getting PragerU ads on Spotify?
Really?
And somebody recently pointed out that there was an ad, Raheel, you're gonna die. An ad for Ben Shapiro's podcast on this podcast. What?
Really?
Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I make money from Ben Shapiro when that happens? Because I'm taking his money. If he's giving me money,
he's the one paying for the advertising, or his company or something, right? Yeah. Then yeah. Oh,
but like, if you're listening to this podcast and you hear a Ben Shapiro ad or you hear a PragerU ad, don't engage in it.
Yeah, please just forward. By the way, why are you listening to ads? Just forward that shit.
People are good. They're nice. They want us to have the coin, I guess. Also, I think on Spotify you can't forward ads.
Oh, really? That's why you YouTube.
That's why you listen on YouTube. Listen on YouTube is super Apple. Anyway, what I don't understand is like how, because like, you know, the English Church, the Queen,
the Church of England, yes,
the Church of England, the Queen, or like, is Charles Pope Francis?
He's the head.
Peer?
He's the head of the Church of England. Yes.
Charles?
Now, you know what? Chuck. Maxi Pad guy.
That's shocking. That's crazy. That's crazy pants.
We don't want to offend any members of the Church of England.
No,
also.
There are no people at the Church of England that are listening to this podcast. Don't be ridiculous.
You don't know. You don't know.
No, that's crazy. No. Stop. Even if you no.
Do you know why the Church of England was established? You know
Is it
that,
because
right?
of the wives
Yeah,
and
Henry
divorce?
VIII. Yeah,
Yeah.
Henry wanted to get it in.
Wow. Okay. Well, now you don't want to be offensive. Okay.
No, Henry VIII is a classic piece of shit. I can say whatever
Is
the hell
that
I
what the
want.
show The Tudors is about?
I don't know. Again, we're very dumb.
Isn't
I don't know. That
isn't
makes sense, sure. Yeah, but
is
he
it
was like a sexy Henry VIII. It was Jonathan Rhys-Meyer. Is that the name of
yeah,
that guy?
from Bennett Lake
Yeah,
Beckham.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you look at any painting of Henry VIII, he looks like, I don't know, Bubba the Love Sponge.
Was Anne part of Henry VIII's life?
She was, yeah. Anne Boleyn.
Oh, I was gonna say of Green Gables, which is wrong.
Okay, who's Anne of Green
I
Gables?
think it's like an American thing. Anyway.
Have you seen the short list of the next popes?
No, tell me about them.
So I don't know about a whole lot about them, but I've seen 4 people.
Mhm.
The interesting thing is the number one, like the betting favorite, and apparently there's a betting market for it,
I
3 to
love
1
it.
from the Philippines,
Oh.
a Filipino pope,
Oh, is that
which would
first?
be it would be the first.
That is
I'm
exciting.
pretty sure that would be the first Asian pope.
And they would
I was
be
going to say
mad.
Asian American pope, but no, he would just be the
They'd be
first
mad.
Asian
They'd be
pope.
like, "See, here we go, DEI."
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy from like Europe,
Oh.
and then a guy from South America. But then
Ooh.
there's a guy from he's like a white guy from
Oh.
South America. It's not
Yeah,
get too
it's like
excited.
from Argentina or something.
Yeah, like Frank. Frank was from Argentina.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was Argentinian.
Okay.
And then but there is one who is from Africa. Who
Ooh.
would be now? And then I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole because I was like,
Uh-huh.
has there been a black pope? There were. Like
Oh.
in like the 2nd century, there was a black pope, and then I think in like the 7th and 8th centuries, there were like there were popes of African descent, right? But then like you know the Europeans got a hold of Catholicism, and they're like, I think we're done with that. So there hasn't been one in a while.
The 2nd century. I'm so confused.
100 something.
That's so long ago.
It's so long ago, but it also tells you that Christianity at its core didn't believe in this sort of like,
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
racism.
Yeah.
Because also Jesus was like Arab.
Yeah, guys. He has risen.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. He probably well, he was Palestinian. He was a Palestinian Jew, in fact.
Yes.
That's what he was. Yeah, that's exciting. I hope the Filipino guy gets it. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think do you think like what's the like interview process?
Well, it's called a conclave, first of all.
Oh my god, you're right. There's a whole movie about it.
Yeah, and then there's just voting. There's
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I don't know if there's an interview process, but they debate it, and I think the people that are nominated don't get to say, hey, by the way, like there's no like speech for them, but they have like people within the room that are like, advocating for them. It's like getting elected to like the Hall of Fame, I think, for like sports.
Oh.
And then they go through multiple rounds, and then because you can't, I think you need like a majority or something like that. And then they do the smoke thingy.
Oh yeah, the smoke. I was going to ask about the smoke. How long do you think
Mhm.
that's going to take? Because I'm going to Italy in August. Do you think that'll take that long?
No, I think they'll have a pope before then. I
What hap-
think,
Yeah, because it has to be a quick turnaround process.
yeah,
Right.
the people don't know who to follow.
I think they don't. Right.
I think we got a pope by the weekend, and I hope it's a Filipino guy.
I hope so too. That would be so exciting. Shout
Be
out
so
to
cute.
our Filipino listeners.
Yeah,
Even if you're not Catholic, that is exciting.
we're rooting for you. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
rooting for you.
Yeah. Was Mother Teresa Catholic?
I believe she was. She was very Catholic.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering about the Indian Catholics out there.
Oh, shout out to the Indian Catholics. Sorry for your loss.
No, I get it, man. And like I hope that you guys continue on this path of getting a good one. Cuz
Mhm.
like if we're going to get a new head of the Catholic Church, can we just make sure like is RFK Jr. Catholic?
I would imagine so. They're very
The
Catholic.
Kennedys are Catholic, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, if we're going to get a new head of the church, like let's just keep going down this progressive.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
RFK Jr. popes. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not the energy we want. No.
No. Mm-mm. No. Let's keep going down the progressive route because he was really
Yeah,
great.
this is great.
Yeah. Rest in peace, big guy.
Yeah.
He had one lung. Did you know that?
Really?
That's how he died. He had
Oh no.
pneumonia
Yeah.
when he was younger, and he got rid of, I guess, like one lung. I didn't know that you could just get rid of one part of your lung. And then he got pneumonia a second time just now,
Oh.
and the other lung took it. He'd been
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but again, great
how
life.
how old was he?
Like 80 something,
That seems
80
young.
something. Yeah, but he was also the Pope, man. Like, how much higher? It's not like he was gonna. It's not like there was like a next level for him. He was the Pope. You don't get higher than that
Yeah, you're right.
on mortal ground. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. What was I going to ask you about? Yeah, has Trump said anything about the Pope? He doesn't care. Oh, you're unmuted. Oh, you're still muted.
Oh no, I
Oh.
haven't seen any Trump Pope stuff.
All right. Well, he's too busy because Pete Hegseth was found chatting in another Signal chat.
Mm-hmm. No
Um,
problem though.
what happened?
No problems though.
No
It's
problem.
fine.
This time he was just chatting with his wife and brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. If you had his position, would you be texting us about stuff like that?
Well, we are in a group called Snarknado. And
Don't give away trade secrets. And you are literally, well, my husband is literally in a group chat with his wife and brother-in-law.
yeah, it's actually was. And anytime he's going to war, he lets us know.
Yeah, that's
He does
true.
do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I would hope that I would not be that dumb. Also, like, I don't know, like, when I talk to you about my job, is that really something that you give a shit about? Not really. Like
No,
when
not at
you
all.
talk to me, sometimes I pretend I'm like I
No,
follow along.
the eyes are big.
The eyes are big. Oh
They're
my god, that's so
concerned.
great.
That's
Oh
so,
my god.
that sucks.
Oh my god, your boss. I don't know, man. I'm so sorry. Are you looking? Well.
Full disclosure, I don't know what a single one of my friends does for a living.
I have no idea. I
Couldn't
have no
tell
idea
you.
what their job title is. Everyone's a PM. Sure, you're a PM. A
That's
brother?
that is
PM.
actually both me and our brother are PMs.
Of course, totally. Done.
But like we have a cousin who's like she's a product marketing manager. I don't know what that
Yeah.
means.
I have no idea. I don't know what the product is. I
I
don't know what she's marketing. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck she's managing.
My husband's a director of clinical engineering. Do you know what that means?
It sounds like a pervert to me.
Hey, that's what's up. Like you're in inside sales. You're in sales. IT
Who
sales.
the hell is inside? I'm not in inside sales. I'm a solution sales consultant. It's
Okay,
a big
but
difference.
that's the same thing.
I have no idea what any of those words mean.
Yeah, and also like I don't think like I feel like Pete was just like venting, and his wife and his brother-in-law were like, okay, sure, Pete, whatever.
Dude, yeah, bro.
Yeah,
That
dude, that
sucks, man. Like,
sucks. Like,
bro.
did that chat have
Cheers.
any emojis? Did he get any like guns and arms and fire
You
emojis
think?
and
I think they
American
probably did like
flags?
reaction. That feels like both of those signal groups of his feel like there's lots of like the bicep reaction emoji.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's probably what it was, littered with it.
Yeah, like our brother likes to,
Mm-hmm.
when he's like really into something, he'll send the
Mm-hmm.
exact same text with the exact same link to like 6 group chats.
Yes, he does. I didn't know we could talk about it.
No, and I understand to some degree. I get it because he's just trying to widen his audience. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what
He really likes a message.
he likes the message. He likes the content. He's sharing. He's not a content creator, but he is a chatter. Okay, he likes
He is a chatter.
on the
And he
group
also
chats.
throws in like anytime, like if it's a joke or something, he'll throw in like the laughing emojis with like the eyes closed and the tears coming down.
That's my favorite emoji. But like he loves to, share cross platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand because he has a private, I don't think he has a private Instagram, but I think he has a private Instagram. And so his audience isn't as big, right? So I get it.
Yeah.
He wants to get all the laughs that he can out of something.
Yeah.
Or if he thinks something is interesting, he's just trying to widen his audience. I wonder if that's what happened with Pete. Or
He was just trying to get another one? Yeah, guys, I'm not getting any reactions at work. Here, you guys.
What do you guys think about this?
Yeah.
Or like maybe his wife is doing his job for him.
Oh.
That I
But
feel like is another thing. That happens to us sometimes in a group chat where we know somebody who will literally copy paste from one group chat to another group chat and say, "What do you think about this?" And then you or my husband will respond with like an in-depth analysis of the thing. And then that person will just copy that analysis and send it to the next chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's having his wife do some ghost chatting for him.
You think that's what it like? Pete was like, "Hey, yeah." He asks her what it is. She gives him an answer.
And like, who's the brother-in-law? Do we know him?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. We don't.
Anyway, it's just another feather in the cap of fuckery that's happening right now. You know.
Yep.
What are you gonna do? Trump said, "No big deal. Everybody shut the fuck up." By the way, Mike, what's his name?
Who?
Mike, the head of Congress, the House,
Mike
leader.
Johnson.
Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson says, "You know, we can get rid of federal judges, right? We can just get rid of federal courts." That's what he said. He said it's in our right to get rid of the courts, so we could just do that. It was okay.
Yep.
All right, it's fine. Fine, I guess that's fine.
We're deporting citizens. We are jailing protesters. Meanwhile, the son of a cop shot up Florida State University, and nobody remembers that.
No,
it happened 3 days ago.
Yeah. Well, he was arrested and found and like he didn't die on the spot, and that's when we knew.
No, but in his defense, he was using the sheriff's weapons, so it's a safe weapon to use.
It is. Other dumb fuckery, RFK. Did you see what RFK said about the comments he was making about autism this week or last?
I have not.
Yeah, he just went on and talked about how autism is real bad. He literally said, I quote, "Autism is a disease that rips families apart."
What an asshole.
He said that it's heavily environmentally influenced, and that's why we have autism is on a rise. And he said people who are autistic, they will not he said weird. He's like, they'll never marry, they'll never write poems, or never pay taxes.
What a piece of shit, dude.
Those are three very different things. Also, all of those things are possible when you have autism. And also, RFK is not an expert, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And here's the thing that really pisses me off about these MAGA fucks, right? On one hand, you have them being like, oh, Elon Musk is just like a little autistic guy. Like, that's why he can't tell the difference between like a Nazi salute and like my heart is going out. Dude, like he's just he's so autistic. Like he can't figure it out. And then also, no, but he's a genius and he is a billionaire.
And we should give him access to all of our personal data.
And we should give him access to all of our personal information. But also autism is really, really bad, and people's families rip apart when they are autistic. I saw somebody say, well, if autism isn't a modern thing, then how come we don't see any nonverbal autistic people in older generations? I'm like, yeah, do you know what they did to people who were disabled back then? Mm-hmm. They just put them, they killed them. They institutionalized them. They put them in prisons.
The Kennedy family themselves. Do you know about? Do you know about
Ethel?
Ethel, yes. Is it Ethel? Ethel was the sister. Was she the sister? Or was she the mom?
I have made
that
up.
Yeah, I think there was an Ethel Kennedy, but I believe that was her mom. But they had a sister,
Rosemary.
Joseph Kennedy was not a fan of all that, so he had her lobotomized. Like that is what used to happen to people. The reason why autism is quote unquote on the rise is because we just have ways of identifying it now. That is the reason why.
Yeah.
Yes, we've known autistic people our entire lives. Before the 2000s, they were just, hey, that person's a little bit different, right?
Yep.
Now we have a way to identify it. None of this is a bad thing, right? The only thing that's bad about it is we have a piece of shit like RFK Jr. that's up there, and in his mind, what he's doing is he's giving a voice to the thousands and thousands, like the millions of parents that deal with autism in their lives, right? And like we know, I have, we know a
Yeah, we have
couple
friends. Yeah.
that have autistic children, right? I'm very close to one of the moms, and I talk to her all the time, and it is really, really hard. Like he
Yeah.
is, nonverbal, and it's it, they, he does kind of live a life that is closer to what RFK Jr. was describing, right?
Yeah.
Even then, it's really hard for them. Like you talk to her, of course, that's just her son, and
Yeah.
there's beauty in the way that he's living. Like it's not just completely all tragic or whatever, but that's the kind of like vulnerability that those fucks try to prey on then, right? And then they start making links to like vaccines and shit like that. And as a parent, man, like in that moment, I'm sure it's really hard. Like you are looking for an answer for something that there really is no answer to, which is why did this happen to me? It's just, there's no answer to it. It's just,
Yeah. Also, like these people are tapping into the most like people who are hurting, people who are vulnerable, right? Like parents who don't know what to do in this
mm-hmm.
situation. And then at the same time, they are like, oh, it's environmentally driven. So we're going
Yeah.
to get rid of the EPA.
Yep.
And also, we're going to make sure that we platform people who bypass environmental protections.
Yeah.
And we're just going to get rid of all the regulatory stuff that protects our environment. And climate change, it is man made.
Yep.
It's not real, it's a hoax. But I really give a fuck about your autistic children. I really,
Yeah.
really, really care. Yeah. I just only care about it when it benefits me.
Yeah. And the one thing that your at risk child definitely doesn't need is a vaccine to protect them
No, no,
medically.
no, no, not at all.
Nope.
No, nope.
Nope.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Idiots. Also, they're cutting like research. Like I think at the State of the Union, I didn't talk about this, but the State of the Union, there was a child that they had in the audience that was a brain cancer survivor,
Yeah.
and that same week they also cut funding to pediatric cancer research. So it's just like you know, none of it makes any fucking sense.
Yeah.
It's all just a ploy to make people who don't want to see what the truth is believe this bullshit. And
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing we can do about it because even all the illegal stuff they're doing, there doesn't seem to be any laws that stop them. So
Really makes me rethink our vote for Trump. We really shouldn't have done that. I mean, we did it 3 times in a row, man. We should have learned a lesson.
I voted as our mom and
Yeah.
myself and my mother-in-law. And then you voted as yourself, our dad, and my son.
And your sons.
4 times.
4 times, yes.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. Ugh.
I
Anyway,
guess some people like this. I guess some people are like, hey, you know what? This is the direction I want
this is
the
fine
country to
because
go
now
into.
I can say the F word slur.
No, I think that's not the slur that they're going for.
I think there's another word slur that they're looking to say.
A couple of letters down or
I'm like, is it? I always forget the alphabet. Do you know that one thing about me? I constantly find myself being like A B C D F G H.
I'm pretty good with the alphabets, I think.
Oh, what's it? Yeah.
Ask me where a letter is.
What's before P?
Ooh, Q? No, R S P.
You were wrong. So you don't know.
Is it O? Is it O?
Yes.
It's O. O P.
Yeah.
OPQRS. Damn it.
I'm telling you, it's really hard. We play this game in the car when we're on long car rides called the grocery store game, where you say, I went to the grocery store and I got and then you say apple. And the next person says, I went to the grocery store and I got an apple and banana. And the third person says, I went to the grocery store and I went apple, banana, and carrots, right? And you go through the whole alphabet, but you have to remember, everybody has to remember what the person said last. It's so fun. But let me
Wait,
tell you.
26 words? That's insane.
Yeah. And then, but every single time, at some point, everybody's like, what comes after?
Xylophone?
No. Everybody's like, milk, what comes after milk? Because you always forget your alphabet. Anyway. Listen, we're talking about regrets. Let's talk about the Space Girls for a second. Our Space Girls. Katy Perry has said that she is feeling a lot of regret about her space trip because of the backlash in social media.
Is she feeling a regret about her space trip, or is she feeling a regret about her actions? I think so. I was thinking about this now. Katy Perry is the one that seems to be drawing everyone's ire. That's who you and I were talking about the most last week also.
Yeah.
When you think of the failure of this mission or whatever the hell, or
Yeah.
the backlash for it, Katy Perry is the person that we all think about, right?
Yeah.
Is that unfair? Because, like, why isn't it Lauren Sanchez? Also, the one thing that's happening with all this backlash, again, we're not hearing enough about, Amanda Nguyen and Aisha Bo.
I know. Now, here's the thing. She said she regrets making it a public spectacle. She wishes that she just
What?
She
Wait.
said, yeah.
She regrets making. I'm sorry, I have a pear in my mouth. She regrets making it a public spectacle. Why the fuck else would she go into space for science?
She said an unnamed insider it's probably Katy Perry, right? She said regrets sharing the daisy with the world and
it's
wishes
Katy
the
Perry.
Katy Perry said she wishes the video footage from the inside of the pod was never shown.
Why?
Because she doesn't like that, that everybody had something to
Is
say
hating
about
on her? Yeah, everybody's hating on her because she held up a fucking butterfly with her set list on it. Like, it's not. The problem is a space trip or whatever, but it's her actions, I think, that she regrets. But do you think it's unfair? Do you feel like Katy Perry is being unfairly maligned or singled out?
I mean, listen. I will say this. I love to get on a pylon.
Yeah.
But at some point I'm like, I don't like a pylon. Yeah. You know?
As a woman though, do you feel that? Do you feel like we are singling her out?
Well, it was the weirdest that she was up there.
She was the weirdest one. Yeah.
Somebody left me a really nasty comment being like, Lauren Sanchez is a professional pilot. And then I looked it up and I was like, she got her license in like 2020. She got a license like 2023. Like, you're not, that's not.
Yeah, that's not even a.
I looked it up. She's just like into aviation.
Yeah, that's what rich people do after a little while.
Yeah, she's flying a plane for like 2 years. You flew a plane for 2 years. You got your airplane pilot license for 2 years. So you're going to go up to space?
Yeah. It's not like she was like driving. What would you do? Do you fly, drive?
No,
what do you
I don't
do
know.
With the rocket?
But the other thing is, like, it's not like these people were up there with test tubes. Could you imagine?
Exactly.
I wish that Katy Perry was up there with a little, a microscope or whatever.
A beaker. I would hope that she was there with a beaker. Have a little water action. A little dropper. Can you have a beaker in space? There's no gravity.
So. Yeah.
The water goes out.
I don't think so. The whole thing is a mess. I don't know.
So we don't know the alphabet. We don't know how gravity works.
We don't understand Christianity.
We have no idea what Catholicism is. We just know Benedict had red shoes.
And somehow Charles has a direct line to God.
Oh. Prince Andrew is the brother of the English Pope. Think about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Guys, no.
No offense to the members of the Church.
No offense to the members of the British Catholic Church or whatever it's called.
The Church of England.
I keep forgetting.
So easy. What is this the Church of? Well, it's the Church of England.
I can never remember, because it is the United Kingdom.
Yes.
No, wait, real quick. I love to talk about the royals. Real quick. Church of England does not include Wales?
I think it includes everything. It's not. No, they count all of that as England. It all falls. Like, we are all, technically, I think, because I would imagine that they think that it's the one true religion. We are all subjects of King Charles. We just don't know it yet.
Okay.
Because we haven't converted to the Church of England.
Okay. Got it.
Would be my thought. Yeah.
Okay. No, United Kingdom includes England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The Northern Irish are definitely not. They are not interested in Charles as the Pope.
They said, no, mama. No, dada. No. Stop that.
So stupid. Anyway. I put in here about Roman Reigns because people really seem to be talking about him, and I wanted to talk about it. Do you know who Roman Reigns is?
I know he's a wrestler, and I'm a little bit worried because I'm not really a wrestling guy.
No, you know I'm not really a wrestling girl either.
Mm-hmm.
But he is hot.
He's very hot, and he's also a survivor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, he came out as a Trumper.
What? For real?
Yes.
There's this whole thing going on with like action sports and the like the right wing influencer crowd or whatever.
Red
Like
pill shit.
Red pill shit, which is the reason why Trump keeps showing up to like UFC events.
Yeah.
The president of the United States, again, great choice, guys.
Yeah.
Keep showing up to the UFC events because that's the only place where morons will lick his balls.
Yeah.
In public.
Yep.
So it does not surprise me that that's a thing. The WWE on its own, I know that there's like a whole resurgence of like wrestling overall.
Yeah.
My wrestling fandom peaked in 1999. Actually, this is interesting. In like 1999, I went to my friend Nick Franzosa's house to watch either SummerSlam or WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the day that Owen Hart died because he fell off. Yeah, so he fell off of the thing. And I was like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. This doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
And then also, I was at Nick Franzosa's house, and he had a poster of Jenny McCarthy on his ceiling from Playboy.
Speaking of anti-vaxxers.
Exactly. Speaking of the future Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services. And I remember thinking, well, I'm kind of more interested in the Jenny McCarthy thing than the wrestling thing. And I think that was the end of that. And I was like, you know what?
You said, I know somebody died, but look, there's boobs here.
There's boobs here. Yeah, I think Nick was the first person that I met that was a child of divorce.
Oh.
And I was like impressed because he was like, my dad just lets me do whatever the hell I want to because he lived with his dad.
Like, that sounds amazing.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Well, okay. The thing about Roman Reigns I do want to bring up is that Roman Reigns, first cousin of my middle school friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so when everybody was like, oh yeah, Roman Reigns is a Trumper, I was like, well, that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Oh, are you Facebook friends?
Yeah, not anymore.
I think I gotta censor her name. You can't say her name.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bleep that out. Patreon listeners, also bleep out what?
Nick Franzosa.
No, it's such a good name.
It's such a great name.
We'll
one of my favorite names of all time. Yeah,
we'll leave that in.
Great guy. I just want to say, Nick Franzosa, wherever you are, I hope you're well. I love you.
What if he's a Trumper?
That's fine. You know what? I'll take it. In 7th grade, he was Italian American. Again, the reason why he's a big Yankees fan.
Okay.
And the first lunch table that I sat at was with Nick Franzosa, and I didn't know him. He welcomed me. He's a great guy.
We welcome you with open arms.
Hey, Nick, hey, come over here. You chubby Arab cheeks. I'm not Arab.
Anyway, I will bleep out her name. But this girl who was my middle school best friend, she's the daughter of one of the wild Samoans who were like alpha. What?
You can't keep giving away personal information.
They're a massive family, by the way.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're related to
they're
The
a
Rock.
huge family. So exactly, they're related to her. Anyway, Roman Reigns' dad was Afa Anoa'i's brother. He was one half of the Wild Samoan.
Wild Samoan,
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody was like, "Oh, he's a Trumper." I was like, "Oh, not surprising." Some members of his family didn't even vote for Obama.
No.
Not even the first time.
Oh.
Definitely not the second time.
Were they Barack Hussein Obama guys?
They were worried about the socialism for sure.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Anyway, it is a bummer when hot Polynesian guys end up being Trumpers. It doesn't make sense. We're like, but you're hot and you're Polynesian.
I think there's a religious aspect to it. Again,
for sure.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is.
So.
Anyway, I heard that there's a sports thing going on with Shannon Sharpe.
A sports thing going on with Shannon Sharpe. Stephen A?
Yeah.
for Shannon
No.
Sharpe.
Isn't something happening with Shannon Sharpe?
I think your husband may have mentioned something. I missed out on it today.
Oh, can I
I'm
tell
out.
you about it?
Please.
It's very bad. So, Shannon Sharpe has been accused of assaulting a woman.
Oh, Shannon. Really?
Yeah. And he's
That's terrible.
being the guy who the attorney that was he went after Jay-Z with that civil lawsuit.
Tony Busby?
Yeah. And he was the attorney for the other guy.
The women against Deshaun Watson.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So Tony Busby had a put out a hundred some sort of a huge lawsuit, $50 million lawsuit, civil lawsuit, accusing Shannon Sharpe of assault and battery. And like the stuff is the accusations are horrific. They're really, really scary. Shannon Sharpe's team they released a text with this person. The texts are wild.
I'm just reading this right now. I haven't seen the text yet.
Yeah.
But
the text, basically what he's saying is, yes, the accusations of like the sexual contact, it's really bad. But the texts that they shared are like, the texts share that the stuff is weird, but it's consensual and requested. And I'm like, you know what, guys? Let's not do stuff like that anymore. Can we just go back to the basics? And let's not, it's bad. It's bad stuff. So I think this guy, Tony Busby, does the civil lawsuits to put pressure on these guys to like get a payout, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It just is upsetting because it is, it puts you in that situation where like, I believe women. Obviously, I believe that there was some sort of harm that happened. Also, I'm a big believer that you can have a consenting sexual conversation. You can send consenting sex. You can be in the middle of sex and you can end up being in a situation where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you can, change your mind and that person should stop. So I don't know what the situation is, but it was really upsetting to hear that about Shannon Sharpe and also upsetting for this woman who's going through all of it. But also, I don't know what Tony Busby's deal is, but he feels like a snake.
So that's the thing, right? Like, it's like, well, how can you accuse somebody of being a snake when they are representing a woman on this, right?
Yeah.
I don't. I have this like the first I'm hearing of like the Shannon Sharpe thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I think about it. I watch a lot of Shannon Sharpe content throughout the day because he's on ESPN, and I like his podcast. I like clips from his podcast. He's funny, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Not that that's important right now. So I'll be interested to see how this thing goes because the world of like sports media on its own is like a completely different thing that we should probably talk about at some point. But yeah, this Tony Busby thing, right? If you go back to like the first time that I heard about him was in the Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't a judgment on the women that were involved in it, because obviously the way that Deshaun Watson acted was horrendous. Like
Yeah.
and the fact that it was like it's up to like 30 women, like 30 massage therapists and masseuses that have accused him of this
Yeah.
obviously shows that there is a problem there. And
Yeah.
if not criminal, it's definitely something that's fucked up and something that was done against their will, right? So Deshaun Watson isn't a good guy.
Yeah.
What I do also remember, because I'm a sports fan, is that offseason when that happened, Deshaun Watson was in contract negotiations with the Houston Texans. Like that was a
Yeah.
big story. And I only remember this because I really wanted the 49ers to get him.
Yeah.
Like that was a big thing for me. I was following it, right? And then this story dropped. And based off of that story, Deshaun Watson basically couldn't play for the entire year. And in a sense, it fucked up his free agency. So he couldn't get money from like the Texans and hurt him in negotiations, right? He ultimately ended up getting like a wild contract from the Browns anyways, which is a whole other story about like how the NFL is fucked up and, they're okay rewarding people or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you think about, okay, Tony Busby is this mega Tex Houston lawyer. He is connected to billionaires and millionaires, right? A billionaire is in a negotiation against a star athlete.
Yeah.
And that star athlete's life is I'm not gonna say his life is destroyed because it wasn't. The women's lives were destroyed, but
Yeah.
this happened and it hurt him in a negotiation. And you say, how long was somebody like Tony Busby sitting
Yeah.
on the accusations of 30 women? Like
Yeah.
that is also fucked up. Like I know he went out there and he got them paid ultimately, but it's not because he's like a good guy.
Yeah.
He did this because of this thing. Like, and now I remember who was the other person that he represented. We just talked about this.
It was Jay-Z, the women that were accusing
The
Jay-Z, or
woman
the
that was
that was
accusing Jay
accusing
Z,
Jay-Z.
right? Which
Yeah.
is again now
Yeah.
now what I see is again the men are not to be like they're not good guys, they're not victims, they're in all three of these situations you believe the women, right? But I do also see a high profile lawyer with connections to billionaires going after three really prominent African American men. Like I
Yeah.
do see that. I'm sorry,
That's
that's the
true.
thing. I don't know what else Tony Busby's been involved in, but that's a pattern.
Yeah. It's complicated. Apparently he used to be a Democrat, and then he was weirdly a Republican that was supporting Rick Perry.
No, who knows, who gives a shit.
He also attended a Trump you know, um
I think at a certain like power or money point, you just say fuck it. Like none of this shit actually matters to
yeah,
me.
he's donated $500,000 to Trump's campaign. Anyway,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like for women, it's like you gotta, I guess, you look at fucking what's his name, Girardi, Erica Jane from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, her
Hmm.
ex-husband, right? Who recently is like in prison right now. The guy is like near death, but he he he's in prison for defrauding like orphans and widows and burn victims and people whose families died in like plane crashes and stuff. But he
Yeah.
also did that big thing with Aaron Brockovich, right? So it's like at some point I feel like people get rich and famous enough where it's like, I don't think that they're good people anymore.
I think at a certain point, like you have to make a decision with yourself how you want to live your life, right?
Yeah.
And you just say, you know what? I just like this money. And you know what? God bless you. Like maybe this is painting too wide. I'm sure there's some really great rich people. Like I know you love J.K. Rowling because of all the charity work.
By the way, one of our listeners, our Patreon listeners, actually, so I'm going to read her comment because I think it's great. Lily, she commented something very funny and true about the J.K. Rowling thing and supporting the show. She said, "The way I see streaming content of creators I don't want to give money to anymore is that they've already been paid.
Yep.
JK was already paid for the series. Royalties aren't a thing on streamers, so your
Hmm.
money will be going to HBO and replacing the money they've already paid for the whole series. So you could just pretend the money is going to like Pedro Pascal."
Yeah.
I think it's fair,
I think it's fair, man. I think none of
but
it
I'm not going to talk
matters.
about it on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely not. No, you're horrified. You're horrified that the show is on the air. You and Tony Busby are leading a protest against it.
Anyway, hey, speaking of shows on HBO, you want to talk about The Pit?
I do want to talk about the
Oh
pit.
my god. Okay, now we want a disclaimer that we are aware that we're delayed. Apparently the finale aired on your birthday, April 10th.
What?
Yeah. So we're already 11 days behind.
Okay.
But what episode are you on?
I'm on episode 6. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. There's so much medical stuff that happens that I'm
I
just
love this.
sometimes I have to pause and be like, "Wait, what happened?" Um I'm on the second to last episode. So I'm on hour 14 right now.
You're zooming through it.
I mean, I've been watching
No,
it for a little while.
did they have an episode every day? Is that why it ended so quickly? Is that
No,
how it
no, no.
worked?
It's been on for a little while, apparently.
It's been on for that long?
It's been on for
No.
a few weeks. Yes.
They've had 15 episodes.
The Pit has
They,
been on. Okay, the first
there's
time I
no
heard
way it's been
somebody.
on for there's no way it's been on for 15 weeks cuz I remember watching the trailer for it and I was like, "Hey, that
Raheel,
looks like a fun
the
show."
first episode was January 9th.
What?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm
I heard
sorry. The
somebody
pit.
talking about The Pit on social media. I honestly thought it was like a NASCAR thing. I was like, I'm not watching no NASCAR show. I thought it was one of
Mhm.
those like F1 racing shows or whatever that you watch. And then somebody was like, no, it's about doctors and Noah Wiley's in it. And I was like, what? And then I saw people
Mhm.
going crazy for Dr. Robbie. And I was like, I got to get on the show. And it was like, it took me like 2 episodes to really get into it. And then I was like, you know what? I love some of these people and I hate some of these people. And
I was into it
I just
immediately.
want them to be okay.
I was into it immediately. Like as soon as I started watching, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this forever.
Yeah,
This is great. I think you love a single shot, right?
I do.
I love a walk and talk.
You love a
I
walk
live
and talk. It's the what's in you. What's his name from West Wing? The guy
Josh
who
Lyman,
No, but it's the
Aaron
creator from
Sorkin.
Yeah, it's an Aaron Sorkin in you.
It's really more of a the Tommy Shalami. But although John Wells, the creator of the Pitt and also ER, was an executive producer on The West Wing, and he was a showrunner for seasons 5 through 7.
Yeah.
Now, John Wells did fuck up the show, and seasons 5 through 7 are considerably worse than the Aaron Sorkin years, but we don't have time for that. I am a huge fan of ER.
Yeah.
The OG. Are you?
Yeah.
Do you remember the ER a lot?
I do remember. I know that you and our mom were more into ER than I was, but there were a couple
Yeah.
of seasons of ER that I will never forget for the rest of my life. For example, the death of what's her name,
Lucy.
Lucy.
That's my go-to episode. And of course, Dr. Carter. I remember everything. It was 2 episodes.
Oh my god!
It ended with the first one.
No, I can't talk about it right now because it's gonna make me upset. I'm
Dr. Carter
I've been
gets
really
stabbed.
stressed out at work, and I feel like I'm on the brim, and I can't think about Lucy because it will bring me to tears.
Yeah, David Krumholtz kills them both. He doesn't kill them
Spoiler
both.
alert.
He stabs Carter,
Uh-huh.
and then he falls. And I think it was a Moby song or something. It goes da-na-na, 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 and then he falls, and then he sees across the room, and Lucy's also on the ground. And then the next week, you think that Carter is going to die the entire time because Lucy's doing well. But this is what happens. You never know what's going to happen on the operating table, right?
Yeah.
Lucy died. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my go-to episode also. Also, remember when do you remember when Dr. Mark died? Dr. Green?
And then they played Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
That's exactly. Yeah. Speaking of hot Polynesian guys, rest in peace, Israel Kamakiwewo.
Yeah, that's where we learned it.
That's where we learned it. Yeah.
Also, the song when Lucy passed, or when Lucy got stabbed, was "Low Fidelity."
By something All Stars.
Yeah.
Low Fidelity All Stars.
Yeah.
I love that song.
God.
I was upset that Dr. Doug Ross didn't come back for Mark's funeral. They were best friends. And I know George Clooney was making Ocean's 11 movies at that point, but he should have come back.
Real sidebar. Did you see George Clooney recently? He had to color his hair black for a play that he's in.
No.
He looks terrible.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
No,
his thing is the salt and pepper.
No, he needed to do it for like a part. That's what it is. He's gonna go back to the salt and pepper, I'm sure, because it looks bad. Okay. Suddenly you're like, oh, George Clooney is ancient.
Yeah, I'm sure his skin probably looks really wrinkly, right?
Yeah, it looks bad. Anyway, to go back to the Pit, big fan of Noah Wyle. While you're Googling George Clooney's black hair, you're gonna gasp. Yep. I can't wait for you to see it. You're gonna go, ugh.
Hold on. Dun, 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 dun.
What do you want to dial up?
I'm just looking at this. I mean, it looks like an old guy. I see an old guy. I'm not gasping. Us old guys have to stick together. We all got a little bit of
but compare it, Raheel. Compare it to his salt and pepper versus with the dark hair.
Yeah, it was also 30 years ago. He's also gotten old.
No, please, he looks bad. Okay, grow out your facial hair, George, and make it salt and pepper. Anyway, going back to the Pit. You're a big fan of Noah Wyle, obviously.
Of course, he's the first resident I knew in all these hospital shows. Dr. Carter.
Yeah,
I love Dr. Carter.
Love him.
He's brash. Too rich, but you know what? He worked hard.
Well, he's not Dr. Carter anymore. He's Dr. Robbie. Okay.
He's also Steve Jobs from that Apple movie. Did you ever watch that Apple movie?
I didn't. Was it good?
Oh my god! I still watch clips of it on YouTube. It's amazing.
So weird. You're such a strange person. I swear to God. Who watches clips from the Steve Jobs Apple movie?
It's called Pirates of the Silicon Valley, and I will not have you disrespect it. Anyway. It's so good. Anyway. You know what? I don't usually ask for feedback, right? I want to hear from at least one listener that has watched Pirates of the Silicon Valley and will back me up on the fact that it's a great time.
Okay, fine. I'll allow it. Anyway, who do you love so far? Who do you hate?
Obviously, Dr. Robbie. I love
Mhm.
him very much.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of our cousin.
Yeah.
Also, just Noah Wiley on his own. I like watching that guy. I'll watch him in anything.
Yeah.
Um, I think deep down inside, I want to be the blonde nurse lady who goes on smoke breaks and is real like
Okay.
a real wisecracker.
As the episode goes on, her name is Dana. And
Okay,
as the episode goes on, I feel like her voice gets raspier and more
so
New Jersey. Like
it
in the beginning,
does.
it does, right? Like by the end, she's like, "Get me
Hey,
Flossie Daisy." She turns
what are
into
you doing?
Marge Simpson's sisters. She falls fully into Selma and what's her face. She's like the voice goes crazy. By the end of it, I was like, I know that this is not how this lady talked before. when the
It's like the end of the Penguin when you're like, I guess that's a Chicago accent.
exactly. Exactly. You're like, I love her. Yeah, she's great. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be you. But I feel like that's me. Because that's the person I resonate the most with. I don't
I
chain
think
smoke, but
no, I think that's who I want to be at the end of the day. Well, are you thinking about yourself as a doctor? I would actually let's talk about the characters.
okay.
Obviously, I love the two brown girls.
Yeah.
I love both
Javadi
of the
and Dr. Mohan.
Mohan. Yes, I love both of them. I have a crush on the two Latinas, Gomez and Santos.
Yeah.
The who's the resident guy?
Oh, a Langdon?
Is that his name?
Wait,
Langdon.
the young guy, Whitaker.
Not Whitaker, not the
Okay.
guy who keeps who keeps having to change
Clothes. Oh,
his clothes. Not that guy.
Dr. Landing is an attendee. He's
Yeah,
a handsome guy with a butt chin.
the handsome guy with the butt chin. So for the first two episodes, I thought he and the lady with the glasses had a thing going, and then he reveals. I guess it's revealed that he's been married this whole time,
Yeah.
and I'm getting a little bit of some iffy, like, because I know some doctors and doctors can be like that also. I'm getting some of those vibes from him so far, but I'm only 6 episodes in.
Are you thinking about the doctor with the glasses is in Dr. King?
Who's Dr. King?
She's
The one
she's
she's
the
she's, like,
blonde
nervous.
with the braids.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
love her,
blonde
by the way.
braids. Oh yeah, the braid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is, by the way, daughter of Bryan Cranston.
Oh.
Yeah, the actor. Taylor Dearden is her name. I love all of them. I love each and every one of these characters. We're only spending one day with them. But
Yeah.
I feel like I know so much about them and I care about them so much. And as you continue watching, you're just gonna die. Okay?
Really?
Like, okay, I think the thing that I love about this show is that um have you ever seen that clip of Vanessa Hudgens after COVID? During COVID, that clip of
Is
hers
that
that
when she
went
says
viral.
so people are gonna die?
Which is inevitable, right? That clip. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I feel about the Pit. Is you feel like the show is like, so there's something really comforting about it because there's a lot of like death and despair and destruction, but these people
Yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah.
They keep going and it's so good. Ugh. I want to watch like 15 episodes feels like not enough.
Yeah.
Like
That's the
initially
great thing about it.
I was like, this is too many episodes. And then I'm like, no, I need to know exactly what's gonna like, are they gonna make us wait 5 years for the next episode?
That'd be crazy. I hope not. So like what I like about it is there's like mini stories that I can follow like
Yeah.
within the episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like so I don't know. Again, I'm only 6 episodes in. I watched the story about the drug overdose
Yeah.
with the two college kids, right?
Yeah.
Now I don't know if they're coming back or not, but
Mhm.
now that's a story. Like I'm fully done with that arc, and that arc was like great to follow or whatever. And so it makes the show go by really, really quickly.
Ugh.
Question for you though.
Yeah.
You and I, for two brown people,
Mhm.
never considered medicine.
Nope.
Not for a second.
Mm-mm.
As you watch this and as you watch other doctor shows, is that a thought that comes into your head? Are you like, hey, you know what? It could be a doctor. Have you ever thought that?
You know, I think that if I was going to be a doctor, I would probably be an ER doctor
Yeah.
because it's like so much happening at one time that you would have to like constantly stay on.
Yeah.
And something about being like Daisy and like, you know, our people are really all about like the suffering. We love to be around the suffering. Like when things like, you know me, I do really good when things are chaotic. Like
I think that's,
I think that
yeah.
that's really where I thrive. And I feel
Mhm.
like, but then at some point I would burnout, and my head wouldn't be. I wouldn't be able to handle
Men TB around the corner every week.
every week. But seeing as I've spent a lot of time at a hospital,
Yeah,
I am like genuinely amazed by the amount of knowledge that doctors
it's
and
amazing.
nurses
Yeah,
have. It's like triggering to watch it sometimes, but also really comforting at the same time. They're just so good. And it's like, you watch stuff like this and then you also think about like, you see like hear the stories about like hospitals blowing up in like the Middle East and like
yeah,
how
man.
there's no doctors left and you just have like surgeons just doing like no anesthesia amputations on children because they're just trying to get them to survive and stuff, right? Like this is the shit that doctors deal with all the time. And then you have idiots like RFK Jr. up there making these like terrible claims about
It's the
medicine. It's
worst.
just insane, you know? So,
It's really, yeah. I'm always like, I have a couple of doctor friends, obviously, and we have doctors in the family and stuff like that.
yeah.
And it is amazing because, like, when you talk to them about like other stuff,
Yeah.
they're just regular people. They have some dumb opinions. They're uninformed or informed about different things here and there. But like the medicine part, they are all so knowledgeable. Like
So
it's
knowledgeable.
crazy. Like I have friends that like went to med school but didn't become doctors even even like that, and they're still so knowledgeable just
Yeah.
because of how hard you have to study and all that stuff. So yeah, I respect the shit out of them. In terms of being a doctor, I never wanted to be a doctor. I don't think I have the hands for it. I would also be a good ER doctor because I don't do things cleanly, but I do them fast. You know what I mean? So I don't mind getting in there, pulling stuff out, stuff
I
like
don't
that.
know if I'd trust you. I've seen you try to like we can't ever get you to take a picture properly because you don't know how to keep your hands straight.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's the problem with the hands. But I think like
I think
I'm
you
thinking
need to
of the
find motor skills. And I don't know if you have them.
I like how you have better motor skills than me. Meanwhile, let me throw a ball at you and
I don't have good
try to
hand-eye
see if you catch.
coordination, and I never said
Yeah,
that I
oh,
would.
you
But I
don't
don't
need
think
that.
they're
You don't need
throwing
that. You
things
don't
at
need that.
doctors.
You don't need that. Oh yeah, no. In the ER, I'm sure everything is done step by step. You gotta deal
Nobody's
with shit
throwing
all the time.
scalpel at you at the ER,
They're
okay?
throwing bones at you.
No,
There's blood spurting.
they're not throwing bones at you at the ER. You would be a terrible
I would
doctor.
be a terrible. I would have great bedside manner. I'll say that. Come on,
No, you
a
would.
good bedside.
That's what I'm saying. I
I'd
think
have
you'd be a great
great.
nurse.
I would have. Well, so I think nurses actually do more work
They
than the
do.
doctors when it comes to like the actual physical work.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Sure, sure, sure.
oh, but I think bedside manner I would be really good. Except like I would be like the best doctor that you want to see initially,
Mhm.
but you don't want me to be the doctor the entire time
Cuz you're going
because
to fuck something up.
no, not because I'm avoiding telling you the bad news. I'm just,
Oh, you don't want
hey,
to be,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, your dad's in a coma. Hey, coma schmoma. People get out of the coma. Don't worry about it. I'm basically just trying to make it to the end of my shift because I don't want to deal with that stuff.
You would be like, "Can I walk and talk with you?" As
Yeah,
with the patient. That's what you want to do. And they'd be like,
just
"There's no camera crew." And you'd be like, "No, we'll just
escort them right out of the ER. Lock the door.
Anyway, I'm going to watch the next 2 episodes. And I'm probably going to cry about it. Also, the one other doctor, Dr. Collins, she's amazing. The black doctor, the senior resident.
Yeah,
Ugh, she's incredible
she's
also.
great. I like the lady with the ankle monitor.
Ah,
Like what's going on with her?
Dr. McKay. There's a lot going on. Okay. I love these people. I know so much about them. Real as you watch, it's just gonna get I can't. It's so good. It's so good. Also, my husband and I are starting The Last of Us tonight because apparently, according to the internet, a lot is happening on the show. And
No,
it's only 2 episodes in.
I haven't seen season one of that thing. I think I watched like
You don't do zombies.
I don't do zombies, man. There was apparently like the episode where I stopped is the one that I need to watch. It's the one with Nick Offerman last
Yeah.
year, which
Yeah.
people really loved. And I started watching it, and I was like, oh, you know what? There's a whole lot of zombie shit in here. And I don't care for this.
Why can't we just have stories about humans without zombies?
Yeah, exactly. Can we not just get rid of the zombies?
You also aren't really into vampires, but I do want to watch the movie Sinners by Ryan Coogler. I hear it's
I hear that's
amazing
great.
with Michael
Yeah,
B.
I hear this.
Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool. So,
apparently he's in a double role in that movie. So,
it sounds like a spoiler that you
no,
just
I don't
ruined.
think so because the internet seems to be showing
Oh
that
yeah,
already.
the internet never
The spoiler free
spoils
internet.
anything. Yeah, of course.
Um, Anyway, that's it. That's it for this episode.
Well done.
Is it? Have I? I don't know.
I don't think
So,
so.
from the top of the hour, don't understand the papacy.
No, papacy.
Can't even pronounce the word. Would send things in a signal chat that isn't
Yes.
appropriate. Okay.
Uh-huh.
We'll continue to pile on Katy Perry.
Yep.
Don't understand space or math.
Nope.
Medicine.
Yep.
Science.
One
Give
more. We're
away
missing a big one.
personal.
We're missing a big one.
What did I do?
We don't know the alphabets.